You know what's really confusing? Hearing about the cash envelope system and thinking it sounds like a good idea. But then you're like, wait, so I'm supposed to pay for everything with actual paper money in 2026 when I haven't carried cash in like 3 years and my entire life runs on credit cards and Venmo? Like, how am I supposed to put cash in an envelope for my Netflix subscription or my online shopping or literally anything I buy on the internet? Yeah, so I tried the traditional cash envelope system exactly once, and it lasted about 4 days before I realized it made no sense for how I actually live my life. I couldn't pay my rent with cash. I couldn't buy groceries online with cash. I couldn't split dinner with friends using cash envelopes. The whole thing felt outdated and impractical, so I gave up on it. My name is Don, and I used to think the cash envelope system was this all or nothing thing that only worked if you went full old school with physical cash, when really the principle behind it is brilliant, and you can adapt it to work in 2026, even if you never touch actual paper money. And here's what I figured out. The envelope system isn't about the envelopes or even the cash. It's about creating physical or psychological barriers that prevent you from overspending. Before we get into it, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button if you want to see more content about building wealth and making smarter money decisions. Trust me, I'm going to show you both the traditional cash envelope method and the modern digital versions, and you can decide which one actually makes sense for your life. All right, let me start by explaining what the cash envelope system actually is and why people swear by it. What the cash envelope system is and why it exists. Here's the basic idea behind the traditional cash envelope system. At the beginning of the month, you take your budgeted spending money and divide it into physical envelopes labeled with different categories. Groceries, eating out, gas, entertainment, whatever. If you budgeted $400 for groceries, you put $400 cash in an envelope labeled groceries. Then throughout the month, when you need to buy groceries, you take money from that envelope and spend only what's in there. When the envelope is empty, you're done spending in that category for the month. You can't swipe a card and accidentally overspend because you physically don't have the money. The psychology here is powerful. When you hand someone a $20 bill, you feel that transaction. You see the money leave your hand. Your brain registers it as a loss, which makes you more conscious about whether the purchase is worth it. Compare that to swiping a credit card, which feels like nothing. Just a piece of plastic, no pain, no visible loss. Studies show people spend 12 to 18% more when using credit cards versus cash because cards don't trigger that psychological pain of losing money. When I first learned about this system, I was like, that's genius, I should totally do that. And then I thought about my actual life and realized like 80% of my spending was digital and couldn't be done with cash. Online subscriptions, paying bills, buying stuff on Amazon, splitting costs with friends on Venmo, none of that works with cash envelopes. So the traditional envelope system has a massive problem in 2026. Most of our spending is digital, but the underlying principle, creating hard limits that prevent overspending, that's still completely valid and useful. Let me break down both the traditional method and the modern adaptations, and you can decide what works for you. The traditional cash envelope method. Pure old school. Let's start with how the traditional system actually works, because there are still situations where using actual cash envelopes makes sense. Step 1. Create your budget and identify your variable spending categories. These are things like groceries, gas, eating out, entertainment, personal care, clothing, basically anything that changes month to month and you have control over. Step 2. Get actual cash. Go to the bank or ATM and withdraw the total amount you budgeted for these categories. If you budgeted $400 for groceries, $200 for eating out, $150 for gas, and $100 for entertainment, you're withdrawing $850 in cash. Step 3. Get envelopes and label them. You can buy cute ones or just use regular envelopes, doesn't matter. Write the category name and the budgeted amount on each envelope. Step 4. Divide your cash into the envelopes. $400 in the grocery envelope, $200 in the eating out envelope, and so on. Step 5. Spend only from the envelopes. Going to the grocery store? Bring your grocery envelope and pay with that cash. Going out to dinner? Bring your eating out envelope. When an envelope is empty, you stop spending in that category. I tried this system for exactly 1 week back in 2019. Here's what happened. I successfully used cash for groceries, which was fine. I used cash at a restaurant, which was awkward, because I had to calculate the tip and make sure I had enough small bills. And then I tried to order food delivery and realized I couldn't pay the driver with an envelope. I needed to use my card. Then I tried to buy something on Amazon and obviously couldn't use cash. By day 4, I had money in envelopes and also charges on my credit card, and I had no idea what my real budget was anymore. The pure traditional method works if you can do 90% plus of your spending with physical cash. For most people in 2026, that's just not realistic. But here's where it does work, when traditional cash envelopes actually make sense. There are specific categories where using actual cash envelopes still works great, even in 2026. Category 1. Eating out and fast food. You can pay cash at basically any restaurant or drive-thru. This is actually the perfect category for cash envelopes, because eating out is where people tend to overspend the most. When you see that envelope getting thin, and you know you're halfway through the month, you'll think twice about ordering takeout again. Category 2. Grocery shopping. If you go to physical stores, you can pay cash at any grocery store. The act of handing over cash makes you way more conscious about what you're putting in your cart. I know people who switched to cash for groceries and immediately cut their spending by 20% just because they were more aware. Category 3. Entertainment and fun money. Coffee shops, movie theaters, bars, events. Most of these places take cash. Having a physical envelope for fun money creates a clear limit. Category 4. Gas if you go inside to pay. Most gas stations let you prepay with cash inside. It's less convenient than paying at the pump with a card, but that inconvenience is part of what makes you more conscious about your spending. So here's what I'd recommend. Don't try to do the full cash envelope system for everything. Pick 1 or 2 categories where you consistently overspend and where you can realistically pay with cash. Use actual cash envelopes just for those categories and handle everything else digitally. When I finally figured this out, I used cash envelopes only for eating out and random shopping. I'd withdraw $300 per month, put it in 2 envelopes, and that was my limit for those categories. Everything else, rent, utilities, subscriptions, groceries that I ordered online, I handled with my normal accounts and budget tracking. This hybrid approach actually worked. The modern digital envelope system. Actually practical. All right, now let me show you how to adapt the envelope concept to work in 2026 without using physical cash for everything. The principle we're keeping is this. Money is divided into categories with hard limits, and when a category is empty, you stop spending. The thing we're changing is the method, because we're using digital tools instead of physical envelopes. Method 1. Multiple checking accounts. This is my favorite modern version of the envelope system. You open multiple checking accounts, each one representing an envelope. One for groceries, one for eating out, one for entertainment, whatever categories you want to control. At the beginning of the month, you transfer your budgeted amount into each account. $400 goes to the grocery account, $200 to the eating out account, and so on. Then you get a debit card for each account, and you only use that specific card for that specific category. When you're at the grocery store, you use your grocery debit card. When you're at a restaurant, you use your eating out debit card. When an account hits 0, you're done spending in that category. Just like with cash envelopes. I used this system for about 8 months, and it worked incredibly well. I had 4 checking accounts: bills, groceries and gas, eating out and fun, and general spending. Money got distributed on payday, and I could only spend what was in each account. The physical separation created the same psychological barrier as cash envelopes, but I could still pay for everything digitally. The downside is it requires managing multiple bank accounts and remembering which card to use for what. Some people find this annoying, but if you're serious about stopping overspending, this is probably the most effective digital version of the envelope system. Method 2. Budgeting apps with envelope features. Apps like YNAB, You Need a Budget, Good Budget, or Mevelopes are basically digital envelope systems. You assign every dollar to a category, and the app shows you how much is left in each envelope. When you spend money, you log it in the app and it deducts from that category's envelope. The advantage here is you can use your regular accounts and cards. You just have to manually track everything in the app. The disadvantage is it requires discipline to actually log your purchases and check your envelopes before spending. There's no hard barrier preventing you from overspending, just a notification telling you that you did. I tried YNAB for a few months and it was solid, but I found myself ignoring the app when I wanted to buy something I knew would put me over budget. The multiple checking accounts method worked better for me because the barrier was physical, not just informational. Method 3. Prepaid debit cards as digital envelopes. You can buy reloadable prepaid debit cards and load each one with your budgeted amount for different categories. It's like the checking account method, but without opening multiple bank accounts. At the beginning of the month, you load $400 on your grocery card, $200 on your eating out card, whatever. Then you use those cards just like you would cash envelopes. When the card balance hits zero, you're done. The issue here is prepaid cards often have fees, and you have to remember to carry multiple cards. But if your bank won't let you open multiple checking accounts or you don't want to deal with that, prepaid cards can work. The hybrid system that actually works for most people. After trying all these methods, here's what I actually recommend for most people in 2026. A hybrid system that uses physical cash envelopes for high-risk categories and digital tracking for everything else. Identify your two biggest problem spending categories. For most people, it's eating out and random shopping. These are the categories where you consistently overspend and where you can realistically use cash. Use actual cash envelopes only for those two categories. Withdraw the cash at the beginning of the month, divide it into envelopes, and when it's gone, it's gone. For everything else, fixed expenses like rent and utilities, use your normal checking account with automatic payments. For other variable expenses that are mostly digital, like subscriptions or online shopping, use a simple budget tracking spreadsheet or app. This hybrid approach gives you the psychological benefit of cash envelopes for your problem areas without requiring you to overhaul your entire financial system. Or carry cash for things that are easier to pay digitally. When I switched to this hybrid system, I used cash envelopes for eating out, $250 per month, and random Target/Amazon shopping, $150 per month. Everything else I tracked digitally. This cut my overspending in those two categories by like 60% within the first month, and I didn't have to completely change how I handled my other expenses. The critical rules for making any envelope system work. Regardless of which version you use, there are non-negotiable rules that make the system actually work. Rule 1. When an envelope is empty, you stop spending in that category. No borrowing from other envelopes, no using your credit card just this once, no exceptions. The whole point of the system is creating hard limits. If you break the limits, the system is useless. Rule 2. Don't refill envelopes mid-month. You get your budgeted amount at the beginning of the month, and that's it until next month. If you run out of eating out money on the 15th, you eat at home for the rest of the month. Rule 3, you can reallocate between envelopes if you haven't spent from them yet. If you budgeted $100 for entertainment, but there's nothing you want to do this month, you can move that money to groceries or whatever. But once you've started spending from an envelope, no more changes. Rule 4, track everything. Whether you're using cash or digital envelopes, you need to know how much is left in each category. With cash, it's easy. You just look in the envelope. With digital methods, you need to check your account balances or app regularly. Rule 5. Start with just a few categories. Don't try to envelope system your entire budget. Pick 2 to 4 categories where you overspend and start there. You can always add more categories later. The biggest mistakes people make with envelope systems. Let me tell you what kills the envelope system for most people. Mistake 1. Trying to use cash for literally everything in 2026. You can't pay rent with cash envelopes. You can't pay most bills with cash. You can't shop online with cash. Don't try to force cash into situations where it doesn't make sense. Mistake 2. Creating too many categories. If you have 15 different envelopes, you'll get overwhelmed and quit. Start with 2 to 4 problem categories maximum. Mistake 3. Not having an emergency buffer. If you envelop every single dollar and then your car needs gas, but your gas envelope is empty, you'll break the system. Keep a small buffer account for genuine, unexpected needs. Mistake 4. using the envelope system, but also using credit cards for the same categories. You can't do both. Either you're buying groceries with your grocery envelope or you're buying them with your credit card. Pick one. Mistake 5. Giving up after one bad month. You will screw up. You will overspend in a category. You will learn that you budgeted too little for groceries and too much for entertainment. That's fine. Adjust and keep going. Mistake 6. Not preparing for annual or irregular expenses. If you use the envelope system only for monthly expenses, but then Christmas comes and you have no gift budget, you'll blow the whole system. You need to budget for irregular expenses too, either in a separate envelope or account. Does the envelope system actually work? The honest truth. So after trying every version of this system, here's my honest answer. The envelope system works incredibly well for specific types of overspending, but it's not a complete budgeting solution. Where it works, categories where you tend to overspend impulsively. Eating out, shopping, entertainment, coffee, basically anywhere you make frequent small purchases that add up. The envelope system creates awareness and hard limits that genuinely stop overspending in these areas. Where it doesn't work, fixed expenses that are the same every month. Your rent doesn't need an envelope because you're not at risk of overspending on rent. Digital subscriptions that auto-charge don't work well with envelopes because you're not making active spending decisions. The envelope system is a tool for controlling variable spending and impulsive purchases. It's not a replacement for a complete budget. You still need to track your income, know your fixed expenses, and have savings goals. The envelope system is just one piece of the puzzle. For me, using cash envelopes for eating out cut my spending in that category from $400 per month to $250 per month immediately. That's $150 per month, $1,800 per year just from using one envelope for one category. So yeah, it works, but I still needed my regular budget for everything else. Your action plan to try this system. Here's exactly what to do if you want to try the envelope system. Step 1. Look at your last 3 months of spending and identify your 2 biggest overspending categories. Where do you consistently blow your budget? Step 2. Decide if you're doing traditional cash envelopes, digital envelopes with multiple accounts, or a hybrid approach. Be realistic about your lifestyle. Step 3. Set your budgets for those categories. Look at what you've been spending and decide what you should be spending. Make it realistic but challenging. Step 4. If you're using cash, withdraw it and set up your envelopes. If you're using multiple accounts, open them and set up automatic transfers. If you're using an app, download it and set up your categories. Step 5. Start on the first of the month. Don't try to start mid-month, you'll just confuse yourself. Wait until the next month begins and commit to trying it for 1 full month. Step 6. At the end of the month, evaluate. Did it help you control spending? Was it too restrictive? Do you need to adjust your amounts? Refine and try month 2. Look, the envelope system isn't some magic solution that fixes all financial problems. But for people who struggle with overspending in specific categories, it creates clear boundaries that actually work. The question isn't whether the system works, it's whether you're willing to stick to the boundaries it creates. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. And drop a comment telling me if you've tried the envelope system and whether you used cash or a digital version. I'd love to hear what worked or didn't work for you. Thanks for watching, and remember, the envelope system is about creating limits that prevent overspending. Whether those envelopes are physical or digital doesn't matter as much as whether you actually respect the limits. Try it for 1 month and see what happens. I'll see you in the next one.